police.
And same mission, but a new location. Treatment for addiction is coming to Bel Air, but it's a center that's no stranger to Hartford County.
All right, welcome in with Kelly Swoop. I'm Jamie Costello. Right now, impeachment hearings continue in Washington, and you can watch that right now on Channel 2. But we want to tell you about what's going on locally here. A lot of local news stories here.
Definitely. You know, tonight only on WMAR 2 News, a victim shares his story of a home invasion that happened in Carroll County this morning that nearly cost his 16-year-old son his life. A pair of armed robbers gunned down the teen, and now one of them is in police custody.
WMAR 2 News' Jeff Hager joins us now with an exclusive account of what happened today. Jeff.
Jamie, the victim tells us he tried to fight off the intruders until one of them struck him in the head with a handgun. And then the would-be robber took aim at his 16-year-old son. A rude awakening in an apartment inside this house along Tawnytown's main thoroughfare early Tuesday. And as two men leveled guns at Arvil Ham, demanding to see his 16-year-old son, he instantly recognized one of them as his neighbor.
It was about 2 o'clock in the morning. Like I said, Charles, he knows me. He's a drug addict, and he lives literally, he's my neighbor. But he knows my son's been working over at the farm, and he's been saving up money, and, you know, he had a little bit of money saved, and I guess he figured.
If the suspect, later identified as 31-year-old Charles Carradine, figured he was going to score some easy cash, he figured wrong.
They threatened to shoot me, or shoot, they said they was going to shoot my son if I did anything, to just stay there, don't move. We were both fighting them. I got hit in the head with the gun. Well, as we was fighting them off, once the gunshot went, they ran.
Ham says his son was shielding his teenage girlfriend from harm during the confrontation, and a 7-year-old in the home also witnessed the attempted robbery.
He woke up, had a gun pointed at his head too, just like I woke up. That's how I woke up this morning.
At the request of Tawnytown Police, Maryland State Police launched an investigation, which immediately turned to Carradine, the victim's neighbor, as a suspect.
They went to his home, called to him. He ultimately came out and surrendered without incident and was taken into custody. He is awaiting charges now. The search is continuing for a second suspect who we believe to be in the area.
Officers hit the street in search of witnesses and even launched a drone to help search the area for any sign of the trigger man. In the meantime, paramedics rushed Ham's son to the Shock Trauma Center, where we're told he underwent surgery and his condition has since been stabilized.
He said it hurt to talk, which I understand that because I had cracked ribs before I got hit with a baseball bat when I was about his age fighting. And bruised lungs or bruised ribs, it hurts every time you take a breath, talk, you know.
Ham says his son's been saving up money to buy a car, and the suspect knew about his stash, which was in excess of $1,000. Carradine, meanwhile, now faces a series of charges, including attempted first-degree murder.
All right, Jeff Hager working that exclusive story out there in Tawnytown tonight. A 76-year-old man and his 4-year-old granddaughter just finished having dinner when a woman shoved him to the ground and then took off with the little girl. That's what Montgomery County Police say happened in Bethesda last night. Witnesses told police they saw the woman pull the girl into a nearby store, and as police entered the shop, they found the woman, later identified as Shashika Terry, holding the child behind clothing racks. Terry told police that she took the girl because she felt the vibe between the man and the girl was off. She was arrested and charged. Police say drugs and/or mental illness could have played a role in this. The grandfather was taken to the hospital, broken nose, dislocated arm, and a knee injury. Luckily, the little girl was not hurt.
And in Baltimore, police are still looking for a 10-year-old boy. Jonte Johnson was last seen on Saturday at his foster mother's house in the 2500 block of South Packer Street in southwest Baltimore. He was recently dropped off by Child Protective Services and expressed interest in going to see his aunt, who his foster mother believed lives near Edmondson Village. Jonte is 4 feet 8 inches tall. He weighs about 115 pounds. He was last seen wearing a yellow jacket and blue jeans. If you see Jonte or know where he is, give police a call right away. Close to 6 o'clock last night in Glen Burnie, a knock came to the door where Xavier Green lived in the 300 block of Morse Hill Avenue. His mother answered the door, and the person asked for Green by his name. The mother got her son, and her son and the suspect were seen talking on the front porch.
The victim went outside. Moments later, the mother heard gunshots and found her son deceased outside.
An autopsy showed Green was shot several times.
A man is killed in a crash involving an MTA bus. It happened last night at 6:30 in the 3100 block of Washington Boulevard in West Baltimore. 40-year-old Sven Kurtz rear-ended the bus with his Ford F-250 right before hitting a light pole. He was taken to shock trauma where he later died. The driver of the bus and 2 passengers on the bus went to the hospital as well with minor injuries. No word yet who's at fault. If you know anything, call police.
A Maryland State Police sergeant is charged and accused of tipping off someone that they were about to be searched. Michael McComas allegedly told an employee about an upcoming search warrant. Prosecutors say that gave the employee enough time to remove items from their home that could have been collected as evidence. A Wicomico County grand jury indicted McComas today for misconduct in office. Well, the 4th hearing in the impeachment probe is happening right now, but earlier today, the House Intelligence Committee heard testimony from 2 witnesses who were on President Donald Trump's phone with Ukraine's president.
ABC's Mona Kosar-Abdi is in Washington tonight with more.
Side by side.
And raise your right hand. I will begin by swearing you in.
2 top national security officials testifying before Congress, sharing their accounts of the July 25th phone call between President Trump and Ukraine's president.
It involved discussion of what appeared to be a domestic political matter.
Jennifer Williams, an aide to Vice President Pence, described the call as, quote, unusual. But Lieutenant Colonel Alexander Vindman took it further, deeming President Trump's request for a political favor, quote, inappropriate.
It is improper for the President of the United States to demand a foreign government investigate a U.S. citizen and a political opponent.
And you went immediately and you reported it, didn't you?
I did.
The decorated combat veteran whose family fled the former Soviet Union 40 years ago, telling Congress he reported the conduct not once but twice.
In Russia, my act of expressing concern to the chain of command in an official and private channel would surely cost me my life.
Republican Congressman Jim Jordan then pressed Vindman on why his former boss, Tim Morrison, in his closed-door deposition testified that he was concerned about Vindman's judgment.
We had only recently started working together. Maybe it was a different cultures, military culture versus...
And Colonel, you never leaked information?
I never did, never would. That is preposterous that I would do that.
Over at the White House, President Trump admitted to tuning into part of the impeachment hearing.
I'm going to let people make their own determination, but I don't know Vindman.
And in a surprising move, the official White House Twitter page is questioning the character of Vindman, a decorated war veteran and current White House employee. The impeachment inquiry now continues with a 4th public hearing. Outgoing National Security Council official Tim Morrison is currently testifying with Kurt Volker, the former U.S. Special Envoy for Ukraine. Mona Kosar-Abdi, ABC News, Capitol Hill.
And again, if you want to watch the hearing, you can. You can turn to WMAR or Channel 2 right now.
A warning tonight about a lottery scam targeting Marylanders. According to the Office of the State's Attorney General, a fake letter being sent out with a counterfeit reproduction of Maryland's Mega Millions logo. It tells recipients that they have won the Mega Millions International Lottery 2019 draw. If you get a letter in the mail, throw it out right away.
An addiction treatment center celebrates its relocation. Here's Ashley Addiction Treatment, an outpatient treatment center, held an open house and ribbon cutting ceremony in Bel Air today. The new facility is on Baltimore Pike. It offers inpatient as well as outpatient treatment, sobriety enrichment, community outreach, family and children's education, and specialty programs. And the center was once in Upper Chesapeake Hospital, but has since outgrown its space.
Moving next to the crisis center allows us with a central location to serve patients, and it also gives us more opportunity to offer additional services as they're needed by the community.
Ashley Addiction Treatment will be starting partial hospitalization for about 6 hours a day for 6 days a week very soon.
Well, we do have a few coastal flood advisories still in place across portions of Baltimore City, Baltimore County, and across portions of Anne Arundel County this evening. The coastal flooding, though, that was along the western shore of the bay, not as severe tonight as it was last night in many of these locations, and that's because the wind direction is now starting to change, if not calming down in most locations. So some good news on that front. Do have some returns on the radar. Most of this is not reaching to the surface. We could deal with a little bit of mist during the overnight hours, otherwise more in the way of clouds. Temperatures not bad either. 51 in Baltimore, 52 right now in Frederick, 49 in Annapolis. Looking ahead this evening, mostly cloudy to cloudy skies. Temperatures falling into the 40s. Overnight tonight, we'll be on the lookout for lots of clouds and some areas of patchy fog and mist. Temperatures back in the upper 30s and lower 40s at the bus stop tomorrow. Some more of that patchy fog, mostly cloudy skies, but even warmer weather ahead. We'll have the details in just a few minutes.
All right, coming up, it was their dream vacation until they lost thousands, all to a scam.
All right, be on your toes. What you need to know before you book your next trip.
Priceline, Airbnb, Expedia, Hotels.com, and a dozen more. They all offer good deals. But are their deals too good to be true? Find out coming up on WMAR 2 News, the station that's working for you.
Len Stoller Hyundai's stock elimination sale saves you up to 30% off MSRP on new Hyundais. 19 Elantra Value Edition, now just $14,977. 19 Sonata SC, just $16,377. Or get 0% for 72 months at Len Stoller Hyundai in Owings Mills.
The season is here. And it's time for our best offer of the year during the Ford Black Friday event. Now, for a limited time, get an amazing offer on select Ford models, plus earn complimentary maintenance through Ford Pass Rewards. The Ford Black Friday event ends soon, so hurry in today. For a limited time, get Black Friday deals like up to $12,850 total savings on select Ford SUVs. That's up to $12,850 total savings on select Ford SUVs.
They made us feel very comfortable around the strangers that we didn't even know sharing our story to.
Not too many lawyers going to do that.
So they went above and beyond so we could get justice.
We didn't have to call that, and they updated us on anything. It was effortless.
It's not going to bring my dad back, but at least I can move on.
Closure, at least, just so we had a better idea of what happened.
Choosing the right lawyer for our case was critical.
My family made the right decision.
If I have to give you one piece of advice, don't sue them, Snyder them.
We Snyder them.
Don't just sue them, Snyder them.
This Turkey Bowl 100 moment, sponsored by Kelly & Associates Insurance Group and Kelly Payroll.
2006 was another record-setting year for the Loyola Blakefield Dons. They ended the regular season with 9 wins and just a single loss. On Thanksgiving Day, Dons quarterback Leon Kennard ran for 76 yards, which included 3 first-half touchdowns. Plus, the game saw Kennard throw for an additional 141 yards. Running backs Terrence Garvin and Corey Capinos ran for a combined total of 133 yards. With the game's final touchdown scored on a 6-yard Bubba Harris run, the Dons' 26-0 victory was their first Turkey Bowl shutout since their 21-0 win in 1995. The 06 Turkey Bowl also proved to be the largest margin of victory since Loyola's 40-6 win in 1999.
This Turkey Bowl 100 moment brought to you by Kelly & Associates Insurance Group and Kelly Payroll.
If your roof is leaky, streaky, or just at the end of its life, you need Brothers Services. Call now to save 25% and pay as little as $99 per month. Our master roofers are ready to start immediately and finish fast with our one-day installation. Have a beautiful new roof before the holidays for as little as $99 per month with our special limited-time financing. Call Maryland's most recommended remodeling company. Brothers Services. It's your home done right.
Up to 30% off MSRP during the stock elimination sale from Len Stoller Hyundai. A Santa Fe 2.4, now just $21,477. And the all-new 8-passenger Palisade is here with 1.9% financing for 60 months at Len Stoller Hyundai in Owings Mills.
WMAR 2 News is brought to you by Gilman and Bedigian.
Oh, you thought this was a cruise of a lifetime. Man, it turned out to be not that way. Now customers who booked that travel with that travel agency suspected a credit card fraud, and they're fighting to get their money back.
That's right. WMAR 2 News' Mallory Safaste first broke the story of Hopkins Travel Services back in September and recently found out that those customers are now facing a new roadblock in getting their refunds. She spoke with an attorney about what people in these situations can do.
Fortunately, a number of people were refunded by the cruise line, no questions asked. But if you were charged directly by Hopkins Travel Services, it can be trickier. Adding to the complexity, Diana Hopkins has filed for bankruptcy.
It's a cruise nightmare with no port in sight. Travelers like Karen Regan getting friends, family, yacht club members to sign up for a buy one, get one free deal that tanked.
I ended up with 57 cabins booked on this cruise.
Diana Hopkins of Hopkins Travel Services pushed a deal she couldn't deliver. Norwegian Cruise Line canceling all of her reservations after suspecting credit card fraud and sending customers invoices showing dozens of different payment methods used to book their cruise. NCL issued some refunds to people charged directly by the cruise line. However, those charged by Hopkins are having to fight harder.
So the money should flow through Norwegian Cruise Lines to Ms. Hopkins, to the consumer.
Many have said that hasn't happened, and she's now underwater, filing for Chapter 13 bankruptcy on October 28th.
Unfortunately means getting money is going to be tough.
Philip Chalker, a consumer protection attorney, says your best option is to file a dispute with your credit card company.
If the dispute is unsuccessful, you have two options. You can go seek an attorney, or you can reach out to a government organization, such as the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, who can then lodge another dispute with your credit card company on your behalf.
Florida also requires sellers of travel to be bonded, but only up to $25,000.
Considering there are numerous individuals that were victimized by this travel agent, they would be competing with every other person that was victimized for a refund through this bond.
We also learned that in August, Hopkins began encouraging people to pay with cash, implementing a 3% processing fee for credit cards.
For the people that paid cash, the best thing you can do is file a lawsuit.
Lawsuits cost money, and now that she's in bankruptcy proceedings, even if you win, you may not get what you're owed. As far as the cruise line's liability in allowing this to happen, Chalker says by law they're probably okay, but it's a bad look.
Norwegian Cruise Lines probably should have been aware of this much earlier than they were.
Just shock, embarrassment.
Sarah Klein, president of Time for Travel Limited, says Hopkins' actions may leave a mark on her industry. She doesn't want this to discourage others from working with reputable travel agents and warns anyone traveling to look for red flags.
The airfare was included, so 2021, we don't really have any flights out yet to sell. So that kind of jumped out to me. Look to see if they're a corporation. Look and see if they're a member of ASTA or CLIA. Just affiliations are huge, and just how many years in business.
So your relaxing trip doesn't turn into a back and forth battle for your money.
If you find yourself in this position or a similar one, push back with your credit card company. If they first deny your dispute, try again. Send them copies of all documents and receipts that you have. We also reached out to various credit card companies about their policies. You can find their responses on our website, WMAR2news.com/matterformallory.
All right, make sure you stay with us because in about 45 minutes at 6 o'clock, Mallory has more tips on working with a travel agent and how to save yourself some headaches from dealing with the upcoming holiday travel season. And if you have a matter for Mallory, she wants to hear from you. You can email her at mallory@WMAR.com or find her on Facebook or Twitter.
And now from WMAR 2 News, Maryland's most accurate forecast.
Since it was a terrific Tuesday and pretty quiet here in the weather department, let's look ahead to Thanksgiving. It's the final countdown until turkey and taters, a little Old Bay seasoning there on the turkey. 9 days and counting until we get to that time and we sit down at the big table and have the big old meal. Looking ahead, it looks like we're going to be above average, at least temperature-wise, beyond the 7-day forecast during the period of Thanksgiving into the first few days of December, and that's up and down the East Coast, all the chilly air out west. Now that signal will start to change as we work our way right before winter time. It looks like the colder stuff's going to come back, and we'll also have some rain to deal with, I think, once we get towards the travel day on Wednesday, and it should be out of here just in time for the holiday. Right now, there is a signal of some above average temperatures for a change. It's 51 degrees outside right now, 37 on the dew point, the west-southwesterly breeze at 5 miles per hour. The wind coming out of the southwest, hence the mild conditions that we saw throughout the day today. And temperatures are actually pretty reasonable. 50 in Kearney, 50 right now in Dundalk, 51 in Glen Burnie, 49 on Main Street there in Columbia. Down the eastern shore we go, 49 with our friends up there in Betterton, and 49 down on Main Street right now in Chestertown. Wider view, 49 in Dock Street there in Annapolis. Had a little flooding there last night. Still some coastal flood advisories in place until Wednesday morning. So be wary of those high water areas and those usual suspect spots in and around portions of Anne Arundel, Baltimore County, as well as up towards portions of Baltimore City, even back towards the west. It's pretty warm. And the only cold spot on the map is out there in Deep Creek at 34 degrees. The radar shows there are some signatures of a little drizzle popping up. Most locations will remain dry overnight tonight. It's really all about the clouds, and those clouds will act as a thermal blanket in preventing us from getting too cold. We do have a frontal boundary in this area and a couple little areas of low pressure, hence the precipitation that is nearby. So don't be surprised if you see a little mist here or there, maybe some patchy fog developing during the overnight hours. The bigger story, of course, is this, all of this warm air that's down to the south. You can see where the warm frontal boundary is. It's draped right across portions of Missouri. South of that, temperatures in the 70s and 80s across portions of Oklahoma and Texas, and all of that is eventually going to move our way. We're not going to get that warm, but we'll get some mild stuff in here by your Thursday and Friday. Besides all of that, we have stuff going on in the tropics. Tropical Storm Sebastian, this is our 18th named storm of the season. The last time this happened, by the way, was in 2012, and it can also play into our winter forecast a little bit for the upcoming season ahead. Futurecast shows as we look through time, it's quiet out there, just some mist, some patchy fog to deal with tomorrow morning. Lots of clouds around early. We'll break into the sunshine late. Sunshine to start the day on Thursday. Clouds come back in. No precipitation to talk about really until about Friday. That's when we'll be on the lookout for our next chance of rain. Temps tonight, upper 30s, some patchy fog to deal with, lots of clouds, some sun, breezy in the afternoon tomorrow. Highs topping out in the low 50s, but it gets warmer Thursday, 55, 61 on Friday, and then we're back down to the cool stuff there on Saturday with some rain, but it is brief because we're right back towards 60 by Monday and Tuesday of next week.
I'm liking this forecast.
Any hint for Thanksgiving yet? Or
any hint? Right now it looks like Wednesday, the travel day, unfortunately, will be wet. And if you're traveling out to the Midwest, you're going to be dealing probably most likely with a big-time winter storm.
Whoa.
So stay here, the moral of the story.
That's right.
All right, thanks a lot, Eric. All right, coming up, keeping children warm all winter long. We're going to tell you who handed out coats to kids in Baltimore today.
Plus, from the stage to the classroom, why the cast of Aladdin stopped by Hollabird Academy. You're watching WMAR 2 News at 5.
We build innovative trucks to serve the people who depend on them. Cabins to comfort. Power to do more. Now to say thank you, we're extending our Employee Pricing Plus to everyone. What's right for the people who build your trucks is right for you. Welcome to the Ram Nation.
With Employee Pricing Plus all month long, purchase and get $12,478 in total values for 25% below MSRP on the 2019 Ram 1500.
Folks, you know, toy stores all over America have closed their doors forever. Ollie stepped up and purchased hundreds and hundreds of truckloads of excess toys. Let Ollie's be your closeout toy headquarters. This is the biggest and the greatest toy closeout in our history. We've got brands like Mattel, Parker Brothers, Hasbro, Playskool, Fisher-Price, Disney, and more, all at up to 75% off the fancy store price. We have well over $200 million of toys, and trucks are rolling in daily. So hurry in now.
Ollie's! Good stuff, cheap!
I'm standing on the mountain, about to fall.
Celebrate Infinity's 30th year with 2020 Edition 30 SUVs. Visit your local Infinity retailer to receive up to a $4,000 winter bonus on remaining 2019 models.
There's a place where Medicare health plans are how they should be, where your doctors, nurses, and specialists aren't